the king, he making connections, he building his team, connecting the dreams. Lock in on the vision, gotta believe. Be about his business and you'll receive. Yeah, we crowned by the king. Yeah, we crowned by the king. Yeah, we crowned. Had to get to work, had to stop all the chit chat. Too many talents, can't waste them. Yeah, that's big facts. Making kingdom moves, standing on business like me, Shaq. Aiming for our goals, clear clack. Moving forward, no need to reach back. Tell me where I need to preach at. Tell me where I need to speak at.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crowncast podcast. My name is Joseph Honeyset. With me, as always, my co-host Joel Ngulu. How are you doing today, brother?
Good, man. No glasses, bro.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, no, man. No glasses, but they're coming back soon. We just have some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Problems,
Had to reframe the frames.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, but we're good, man. Good week. Good starts the week, and so I'm excited about this episode. So let's get it, man.
Let's get into it, man. We got a pleasure of having an awesome woman coming on, and I'm excited to hear her story. And I don't really want to go too long with the introduction, but today we have Miss Caroline Grace on the Crowncast with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being on. It's an honor and a pleasure, and we're excited to broadcast you and your story to the world. So let's get into it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, how we started off is just testimony. Tell us your story. Tell us about you. I'll let you take it away.
So I grew up on a farm in Virginia, a very small town, and I was always the shy kid in school. So always artsy, never any sports or anything. And then when I got to college, luckily, I started being more social, making friends and stuff. And then I never knew what I wanted to do full time though. And I got diagnosed with ADHD at 14. So I always struggled with not so much focus issues, but more just knowing what I want to do and staying consistent with it. And so in college, I started a couple little businesses. And then after college, I worked a 9-to-5. And then I also started a clothing and jewelry business. So I had so much fun with that, learning how to create the website, doing branding, all the marketing. And then I ended up transitioning into email marketing full time. And then in that position, I worked into the social media marketing for that company. And 2 weeks ago, I recently quit because I started doing social media and YouTube and stuff like that. And it's been so much fun. And so now I'm just traveling a lot and just trying to, learn how to serve the Lord the best.
You said you've been traveling a lot. Where have you gone?
So this year I've gone to the Philippines and Japan. And then this week I've been traveling around North Carolina a ton.
Is it weird, not going to an office anymore, and you have this freedom? Do you find yourself amazed, but also are you one of those people that are if I'm not working in an office, I feel unproductive?
No, I'm definitely not like that, luckily.
That's the
but
ADHD.
I don't think it's sunk in yet. I keep on thinking that I'm gonna have to go back, and I have to remind myself no, I'm good, I'm free, I can do what I got to do. And I love to work in coffee shops, so I feel like I can be productive there, luckily.
Absolutely. So I have ADHD too. All right. And I feel like everybody does, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you look at what ADHD is, everybody's kind of got it. I feel like maybe it's it's a spectrum. I feel like that's our superpower though, right?
For sure.
You're able to do different things. I feel like we're more of risk takers.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like most entrepreneurs are pretty ADHD, and that can be a superpower if you know how to use it correctly.
Yeah, if you know how to use it. Yeah. Work can be a big old distraction. You're why am I on TikTok for 7 hours?
Yeah.
Can you it's kind of crazy whenever you grow up, so you grew up on a farm and now you're traveling. That's huge. Could you when you look back at your childhood, could you imagine yourself doing what you're doing now? And how you said you were shy, but now you're an entrepreneur. For me, I grew up shy, but I'm in marketing, so it's crazy how your weaknesses become actually your strengths as you grow up and as you mature. But looking back, you didn't know that, and it's just a beautiful story. For your life, do you ever think about that? And any comments on that?
Yeah, I think about that all the time. I could have never predicted how I've turned out. Like, I wanted to get married at 20 years old, just stay in the same small town, live on a farm. And the first place I moved, other than like my small town, was Italy. So, like, even
Mm.
doing that alone and being able to travel and just be solo is like crazy for me. And then now being able to like live in a bigger city and just do my own thing, like, I just could have never predicted it. And I don't know, complete 180 with what I thought I was going to do versus what I'm doing now.
Why Italy?
I was an au pair, so I nannied for a family there. I just found them
Okay.
online, and yeah, I got to live with them for the summer. It was great.
That's an awesome experience.
Hmm.
What part of Italy?
It was Trieste.
Okay,
It's
I don't know
about an
where that
hour
is.
north of Venice, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
5 minutes from Slovenia. So it's like a random corner, but it's an awesome city.
That's amazing. That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how you go ahead, Joe.
No, you got it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when you travel the world, like when you, I never lived overseas. I mean, I was born overseas, right? But like now I
Hmm.
travel there sometimes, and just coming back to America, it's really different. It's like
Yeah.
really different. I think I encourage people to travel the world because it's just a lot of people are blinded and are closed minded, and they just feel like the
Hmm.
world is like where they're at. And so I wasn't like, I don't know. I respect people who travel, especially if you lived abroad. So
Hmm. And where are
When
you from?
so I was originally born in Africa, in the Congo. And so born there, I mean, the accent's no accent, but like I speak French and all that. That's all that cool stuff, right? But I go back there. My family has an orphanage. We have a ministry that we do over there, and so I go back there. But just I just it's just different lifestyles, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I was gonna ask, like moving over to Italy and coming from a small town, a farm family, did your parents were they like, don't do that? Are you sure? Like that's a big jump.
Oh, 1,000%. They were
Yeah.
not on board with it, but I shared my location with them, and I know my mom was watching my every move, but there's nothing she could do. She was like, "There's nothing I can do. It's a 9-hour flight, even if I did want to come there." And so they've gotten used to it now, luckily.
So what made the shy girl from Virginia that was born on a farm take that chance and risk to go overseas? I'm sure you didn't know the family prior to, right? So how did
No.
that all come out
yeah.
to be?
Yeah, so it's actually really random. I was just watching a YouTube video. I've always loved watching YouTubers, and this one girl, she said one thing that really stuck with me. She was like, "Picture your dream life, your dream day, and realize you can actually make it happen." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I pictured just like waking up in Italy or just somewhere overseas and just having that like nice breakfast by the sea. And I was like, okay, how am I going to make this happen? And then a girl in my class the next day just told me about the au pair thing and how you can live with a family overseas. And I was graduating college. So I was like, okay, this is the time if I want to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And I kind of just decided in my brain and I was just set on it. And then, like, when I met with the family and stuff, I was able to talk to girls that had lived with them before. So that helped with my peace of mind a lot. And yeah, just ended up doing it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Hmm.
I love that because like for me, when I graduated high school, I did a year ish in college, and I say ish because I didn't really show up a whole lot. But then I joined the military, and so it got me out of like everything, my comfort zone, and just what I
Hmm.
was, used to. But that's so powerful, and I'm sure like now, like that has completely transformed your thinking, right? Like, because you
Hmm.
prove to yourself, hey, like I did something that I thought about. Like somebody gave me advice on a YouTube video. I thought about it, manifested, and then it happened. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like, what has that like that moment? If you can like recall that and like come to the realization, like I actually did it. What has that done for you since that moment?
Oh, I would say every decision and everything I've wanted to do since then, it's given me so much more confidence because having ADHD a lot, like most of my life, I would make myself promises and not follow through. So being
mm,
able to make myself a big promise like that and follow through just skyrocketed my confidence and myself because, telling yourself your whole life, like, okay, I'm going to start this workout plan or I'm going to eat perfect or I'm going to I don't know, like make a business in a week and just nothing happens. And then you just like start beating up on yourself, or I just did that a lot. And so being able to see something like so tangible, like being in Italy every day, it just like reminded me that I could do what I said I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. We're so
That's
much
good.
more powerful than we even realize it, you know?
Absolutely.
And I'm looking at the back of your wall. It says, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." Talk about your relationship with God and how that came out to be, and where you're at now with it.
Yeah. So I've always been a Christian. I've one of those kids. I grew up in a Christian school. I got baptized when I was about 7 years old. But I started really getting to know the Lord on a personal level in sixth grade. My Bible teacher encouraged us to read the Bible for ourselves, and I just really fell in love with the Word. And so I would say that's when I started with my passion of just like learning more about Christ and having it be that personal relationship. And obviously it changes every day. I've gone through a ton of highs and lows with it, but I'm still trying to focus on that and, just like letting him guide me each day, and not only in like the quiet time moments, but also throughout the day, just like constantly praying and seeking just for the next step instead of trying to plan out 5 years in advance. Like, Lord, what do you want me to do today? I've just been focusing on that lately.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like the people who grew up in like the Christian homes, like they tend to find life like different. Like for me, like I grew up in a Christian home, everything was cookie cutter, do this. Like, man, Joseph, we talk about this all the time. Like you go to church, go to school, do this, and then life is supposed to be great, right? And then in your 20s, like or even like when as soon as like you start being more independent, life just hits you hard, and then all the stuff that you're like, bro, why isn't God coming through? Like I read about why isn't this for being fulfilled, and you go through actual life. And for me, I feel unprepared. I wish like I had better teaching, I had better like guidance, like just about like realities of life, you know. And so I see that a lot of people that who grew up in like Christian homes, they really struggled. Uh, or for me, my parents always just tell me like, "Oh man, it's because you're a Christian, so the devil sees you, so you're gonna get persecuted more, right?" And so but it still sucks going through it, you know. And so I just wanted to comment that because it's like you grew up in a Christian home, and I'm pretty sure like what you're going through now is a lot different than what you thought what you thought you were gonna
Yeah,
do, you know. So
absolutely. That's a good point. I feel a lot of us were blindsided, like just going into the real world. We didn't learn like all the adulting things that we need to do on a day to day, or
No.
we didn't fully learn. But yeah, it's tough for sure.
Yeah, but that's what makes life fun though, is like figuring it out, right? Like as you were telling us like your story and like in your career, like you started off with email marketing and then you learned how to do that. And then I'm sure you got, recognized at being good. So you got put into another marketing department and now you have all these skills and now you're traveling the world and now you have your own business, right? So it's like one step at a time leads to really the destination that we desire. I'm curious though, are you inspired by any specific women in the Bible? And like, do
mm.
those women relate, or like, can you relate intimately with their story?
I've always loved Ruth and Boaz just because I'm a romantic, so I love that whole story.
I'm a lover
Um,
girl.
yeah, but in the Bible, I mainly focus on Jesus's words and like I'm inspired by him and his teachings. So that's
What
mainly what I
about his
read.
what about his teachings inspire you? Obviously, it's Jesus, so it's like that's the blanket understanding. But like for you personally, like what sticks out?
He's so real, and I love how controversial he is. And he does teach a lot about like, what you set your mind to, you can do, and like, how to have that healthy thought life and just loving others as yourself and like loving your enemies even. I love that teaching because like it's so easy to love people that love us, but loving people that hate us, that's something completely different. And, just his message of love has just always really resonated with me, obviously, and I love him. So
Yeah, I love him. We all love him. He loves
uh-huh.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you seen
What I love
I was
you
gonna
said
ask.
though is that you said that he's controversial. A lot of
Hmm.
times people think Christians like we shouldn't be controversial. We should just kind of sit on the fence, play both sides, and just like shut up and not let anybody like hear our opinion. What
Hmm.
about Jesus being controversial like stuck out to you, and how did you like be more bold?
Oh, that's a great question. Um, I would say how he talks about the religious elite is really interesting to me. How he talks about, the people that say all the right things, but in private aren't really doing the right things, with the intentions in their heart. So it's just like always reminded me to keep pure intentions, and that, the people that sometimes will judge you or criticize you, they might not be, in that same place and stuff. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's a great explanation,
No,
but
that's good.
I love how
Yeah,
he talks
that's,
about
I mean,
that.
that's grace, right? Like,
Mhm.
and also what meets the eye isn't always what's behind closed doors. I think that's
Yeah.
a lot of the case.
Mhm.
Many times he's like, oh,
Mhm.
you're a Christian, and then you're like, you get to build a relationship with them, and you're like, bro, you are not a Christian. I mean, what is a Christian? But like, I'm gonna be praying for you.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I was gonna say, so Chosen, you're a Chosen fan, the show.
I actually have only watched one episode. I want to get into it.
Yeah, I think it definitely, like, especially if you like
Yeah.
Jesus, the controversy.
Yeah.
I think they really do a good job of bringing Jesus like to real life.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that show, I would say, the House of David. That was another good one.
Okay.
I just like how the shows now are getting better. 'Cause
Yeah.
back then it was all just like the
corny.
corny.
Uh-huh.
Nah, and then the reason I thought about that is because you mentioned Ruth and Boaz. There's like that Netflix thing that came
Uh-huh.
out, and everyone's talking about it, and it's like I don't know, it's supposed to be like a trendy movie, but Ruth and Boaz on
Oh, I need to
Netflix.
see that. I've
I
been
didn't even
meaning
know.
to.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, and then my significant other was talking about it. I was like, okay, we'll watch it. But you
Uh-huh.
mentioned Ruth and Boaz. I'm like, all the women love Ruth and Boaz.
Yeah. Like, for sure.
Are your parents, they're Christian, right?
They are, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you said that you were raised in a Christian household. Is
Hmm.
your guys's I guess like, do you ever notice how your faith can be different from like family members or friends? Like for me, I'm a big like mindset discipline type person.
Hmm.
So like the way I approach my faith is just like I put all my faith into God.
Hmm.
And then sometimes I'm looking at other people, I'm like where is your, like, why are you worrying, why do you have anxieties over things that, how do you minister, like, you personally, like, to your friends
Hmm.
and family that like believe but don't have the same perspective as you?
I would say getting to know them and their struggles is the best way to minister to someone, is like actually love them. I never try to like speak over and like tell them what I think they should be doing in life, but more like get to know where they're coming from and have that empathy is, I think, the best way that I can minister, because, I'm not somebody that can perfectly like put things out the way that they need to be. So the way I do it best is just getting to know them and listening to their story and like being there for them.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Hmm.
Just being that light. Being that
Hmm.
light just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I want to know. So I want to know some marketing stuff. So you email marketing, and then
Hmm.
also social media. Is there any like tips? You don't have to give all your, what I'm saying, you
Now
don't
we
have to give
need
all
it
your
all.
secrets.
We need it all.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, if you want to
Caroline
say,
Grace with the exclusive.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I want to
gotcha.
start email marketing though, because I have a good
Hmm.
friend that like he lives and dies by that, and he makes a lot of money, but he lives and dies by email marketing. I'm just like, does it really work that well? So any tips there? And then your social media is popping. So like, any tips like as far as algorithms, when people should post, or anything like that you can give um, to the people,
Hmm.
myself
Yeah,
too.
I hate to be one of those people that says consistency, but it is really true, especially with email marketing and with Instagram, YouTube, whatever platform you're on. With email marketing, it's so valuable. Like, it's just one of those things I tell people, like, followers are one thing, but you can lose them tomorrow. So you really want to build up your email list and just to have that direct audience that's, your ideal client, and you can have direct communication with them. So it's super important. And I would say subject line, preview line, like those are the most important thing. Like, get those open rates up. but stay consistent with it. And with actual social media, the thing for me was more just putting it out there and not having it be perfect. Like a lot of the times I would have to, think about a video. I'm like, I'm going to do this in the future and I'm going to make it perfect and I'm going to edit it this way. But then it would just like keep on pushing back the actual date. And so learning how to just show up imperfectly has like absolutely changed everything for me, because that's what people want to see too. They don't want to see like your perfect polished version of you. They just want to see the real you. So learning how to post things before they're perfect, just like getting things out there and just putting more out there than you're comfortable with, and kind of letting go and like letting God handle it after that.
I love that. I want to ask you to choose one or the other, okay, in terms of social media platforms. Instagram or YouTube?
Instagram for opportunities, but YouTube, like for me personally, has my heart.
Okay.
Really?
So which one? You have to choose one, Instagram or YouTube?
I'll say YouTube.
Okay.
Really?
YouTube
Yeah,
or TikTok?
YouTube.
Okay. YouTube or LinkedIn?
YouTube. I'm not great at LinkedIn.
I don't think anybody
YouTube
is.
though. YouTube. Huh?
Do you and for YouTube, the success that you receive on YouTube, do you feel like YouTube is less convoluted, and that being the reason for greater results over time? Like, because that's how I look at YouTube. I'm asking this question because I want you to reaffirm my own thoughts. But for me, I feel like it's harder to build traction on YouTube. But once you start to build traction, it's that traction is consistently there. However, Instagram, everybody has an Instagram. Everybody's putting out content. Is that the reason why, like, if you sustain your growth on YouTube, the results are better?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I do think there's so many more opportunities with Instagram and the fact that you can reach so many more people quickly. But with YouTube, I think it is more evergreen, and we've seen how it's just lasted over the years.
Yeah.
And I think people going into 2026 are going to be looking for the more authentic long form content, because I think we're getting tired of the short form, honestly.
Yeah.
So for me, just that, and I'm just starting out with it, so I'm no expert for sure, but I think having like that long form video each week that you can like put your heart into, I don't know, it just helps people like get to know you more personally. And then, like you said, when it does take off, it takes off, and like over time it'll keep growing. Like people still watch my videos from years ago, whereas with Instagram, like I know like stuff I put out years ago is nowhere.
Right.
So I think it is such a good investment, honestly.
Okay.
Interesting.
I like that.
Wow. Dang, you sold me. You sold me on that one. 'Cause I'm
Do
an
it.
Instagram guy.
Like,
I'm an Instagram guy. He's YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I like, because in my mind, I feel like most people are afraid of the camera. Right. And I think a lot of times people's approach to YouTube is it has to be polished. It has to be perfect.
Yeah.
I got to get all these editings correct, and then the lighting. But Instagram is kind of like, it was like that. I feel like it's moving away from it.
Yeah.
But people on YouTube care less about like the polishedness, unless you're like Mr. Beast or like a well-known creator. They almost expect that.
Yeah. And it is a higher barrier to entry to YouTube. So, everyone's getting worried about, how many people are wanting to do the same thing with Instagram, TikTok, and everything. But with YouTube, like if you are worried about that, that's the place to be, because, a ton of people can say they want to post, but like rarely people, pick up the camera and actually follow through with YouTube. I've found, I don't know about what you found with that, but I do think it is more rare to find people that are on YouTube nowadays.
100%. Especially with like streaming, that's the younger generation. I mean, I don't know how young you are. I'm gonna be 33 in May. So I like this. I'm still young. Come on.
Yeah.
But my question is, I wanted to go back to email marketing. I just wanted to give a little bit more value with marketing, because everybody's looking to figure out, hey, what's the best way of leveraging, XYZ. What would you suggest for like somebody beginning, right? They're starting to build up their social media platform. How can they integrate their social media platform while building up an email list? Like, what is like your best advice to do?
Have you heard of ManyChat?
ManyChat, yep.
Yeah, that was the first thing I would say for them to do is Instagram the ManyChat integration. So the comment to DM automations will get so many emails and having a free product to offer. So, that incentive to get the emails. And then like I connect that to a Stan store personally, and that's how I get my email list. But just having the ManyChat automation is incredible, and it boosts your engagement on Instagram. So it's just a win-win with that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome.
That's good. And then you talked about like the tagline, like because you said that's really important.
Subject line.
Or the subject line. Sorry, thank you. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because like it's either make it or break it. If you need a really good one, so like what's considered like a really good one? What's considered like, hey, someone not gonna look at that really? Like what's considered look spamish?
Yeah. So I would just for that look through your own inbox and see what grabs your attention and start writing them down for a week and kind of see what is in common with that. Because I do think like personally, I might lean towards a different subject line than somebody else would open. But I do think the urgency without it looking like, all caps, a ton of emojis, like super spammy, but also having that urgency, like you should open this today, or something that sounds kind of natural, I think always works best, that they kind of think it is coming to them personally.
Yeah, my go-to is I'm a Nigerian prince. I need y'all to help me.
Bruh.
Yeah, start with that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, I got a Bible question for you. Give me your favorite character in New Testament, favorite character Old Testament. You can't do Ruth and Boaz. You already said that one, and you can't say Jesus because it's not fair.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Favorite old and favorite new.
Old, maybe David.
Okay. Yep. That's a good one.
And then New Testament. Can I say Paul?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Or
Why?
maybe Matthew. I actually love Matthew.
Interesting. Why Matthew? Yeah.
I love the book of Matthew. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
Now Matthew's good. He's real into detail. So compared to like all the other disciples, he's like super like if he starts with the origins, it's like, all right, bro, I'm trying to get through all that. Just give me to the point. But he's like real
exactly.
So
I do like having the details.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So since leaving your job, what are your plans like career wise, right? Like, I'm sure you have all these big plans and ideas, and the future is bright with you. So I'm curious as what that looks like.
Right now, I'm just, I'm trying to invest in the long-term things like, okay, YouTube video a week, try to do Instagram once per day, or however that may look with social media, like my personal brand, and also sending those emails out weekly. I'm working on like guides, books on stuff that people ask me about a lot, and I would love to get into coaching as well. And I'm also doing UGC, so that's more of like the content creation part of it, videography, and I am signed with a modeling agency. So kind of just like a little bit of everything right now. I'll probably end up opening a business, maybe like an agency or something in the future. That's what my friends and I have talked about. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure what the future is going to look like, but I definitely am excited to just get going. And, sometimes you just have to like see what works.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that. Especially like when you are younger, like you can try so many different things. Like for me, when I was younger, I wish I would have tried more things to really like hone in exactly what I liked and what I'm good at, rather than like kind of having those preconceived notions of what I thought I was good at. And I kind of blame the athlete in me. Maybe Joel, you can relate to this because we played basketball growing up. So it was like all or nothing. And so we just like we're laser focused on one thing the majority of our lives.
Yeah. It's like the teach you. That's how they get you, bro. Cause like I mean that's true. Think about it, man. If I would have just like played all sports, I would have like maybe like different things. But I'm like, no, man. Kobe Bryant said I got to wake up at 4, and and so I'll do only one thing. But yeah, that's crazy. Wow. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to comment.
You just tell me how he feels. No, yeah, no, I love it. I love. How young are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25 years old.
25. Okay, so
All right.
man, I'm almost 10 years older than you. So you got the whole world at your hands, and you don't seem like a person that is fearful of risks.
Definitely not, no.
No.
My dad was an entrepreneur as well, so he's always taught me to take
Oh,
risks.
that's where it comes.
There you go. You got the cheat code right there.
Okay, I got a question. So I always ask people this, especially because I do a lot of like when I sit down and talk with someone, I like doing the five folds. I love talking about people's calling and like their God-given calling, right? Like long term. And so I always ask this question, like, so if God gave you $2 million, you couldn't start a business with it, you couldn't like invest it in crypto or anything, you couldn't make any money with it, but you got to use that 2 million to start a nonprofit or NGO, right? So what would that be? And like, and you can get specific if you want, but yeah, what would that look like? You have $2 million, so you can start
Wow.
whatever it is, but it's all like a give back profit. So it's either a nonprofit here in the States or something overseas, but you have to give back.
Man, that's a tough one. I recently visited the Compassion Office in the Philippines, and what they're doing to sponsor these children in their own like countries and working with their families and everything is absolutely incredible. I love what they're doing, so maybe something with that. And just with what I do with social media personally, a lot of people reach out to me that have just gone through breakups, young girls that are just trying to figure it out with them. And Christians with ADHD as well have been reaching out to me. So just because like that's the people that I feel like I speak to the best, I would maybe do something to, focus in on them and just help them out as well so that they can also go and help the people in need. And I don't know, that's kind of what I would do with it.
That's good. That's good.
So how did you find out you had ADHD? I'm curious. I have a funny story behind mine, but I want to know why.
Yeah. Oh gosh, mine's actually pretty embarrassing as well.
I didn't say mine was
younger-
embarrassing.
Well, mine is. I would struggle to like take baths. Like I would throw a fit every time my mom was like trying to get me to take a bath. But then when I got in the bath, I was loving it, like playing with these toys for hours. And so she took me to a psychiatrist and was like, why can't this girl like just take a bath and like just do these average things? And so I got to talk to the psychiatrist, and that's when they diagnosed me.
Oh wow, I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed.
So random.
Yeah, no,
Uh-huh.
that's interesting. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. So on your social media platforms, do you talk about ADHD a lot?
I do.
Okay, awesome. Like what specific things?
The Christianity and ADHD combo.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of Christians feel shame for not having like the perfect routine with God. And I feel like they get shame from other Christians. So I'm kind of like reassuring them that they can drop that shame and be who God called them to be without feeling that and, having it look a little bit differently. So I talk to those people a lot.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I found out I had ADHD because in high school, I went to I also my junior and senior year I went to a prep school, and it was hard. Like before I was in a public school, Joel and I we were going to the same school. It was easy, it's just kind of like standardized
It's public school,
right? And so I got into this prep school, and it was so hard. And my senior year, there was this English teacher who was like, she probably came from the pit of hell. Like she was so like she treated it like a junior course at like a collegiate level. And so for me, I was like, I'm just trying to play basketball. I don't want my grades messed up. I don't want to do all these extra things. And so I tested to get into like the remedial English class. And there was like 4 people in there, but so I ended up like testing and like finding out I had ADHD, and like my senior year, I had a really easy pathway so I could avoid that specific teacher. That's the only reason why I found out that I had ADHD.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Everyone's story with that is so different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. You never told me that, bro.
No?
No, you never told me that, dog. That's something I would do. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, no, but Caroline, I love what you do with, talking about ADHD and Christianity, because like we have this expectation because Jesus was so perfect, and we're supposed to like live our life like Christ as much as we can. And so we like convolute perfection with like us being humans. And a lot of times we don't have grace for ourselves. And so I love the fact that you do that, because it is hard. Like for me, like I'm a big routine guy, but being consistently rooted in a routine every day, like my routine, there's aspects that are the same, and then there's aspects that are kind of all over the place. And so just to have that reassurance to let other people know, like you, like, hey, it is okay that you're not walking through life perfectly. I think that's amazing. Yeah, I've never heard anybody that like combines those two.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's definitely like what I needed to hear early on in life, because if I didn't have my routine with the Bible in the morning, I like wouldn't pray throughout the day because I thought God was mad at me. And so releasing that and just realizing, even if my morning wasn't perfect, I can still have a day where I grow closer with God. So yeah, thank you for saying that.
What are some like tips that you give people to like stay rooted in that?
The first thing is kind of what we talked about, just releasing the shame. A lot of people say to me, and it's like the sweetest thing ever, that it's like after reading some things that I said, that it was the first time that they, were able to release that and just like give themselves forgiveness for a lot of the things that they've, looked different on their whole lives. So I think just accepting that you're different, and then, I can give like all the tips on how to make the days easier, but just realizing that God made you differently for a purpose and you can use it for your superpower. So it's not wrong that, you have to do things differently, like accepting that, if you need to set a timer and play music to do your laundry, like that's okay. Like you don't need to do it like just how everyone else does.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me, I want to know, I guess, two things. The first one, I know Joseph likes this, is like you read books. You have like a top 3 books that you read that you would recommend. Joseph reads a lot of books. I'm starting to read more, but yeah.
I love Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen, and then Atomic Habits. I think it's James Clear.
James Clear.
Yeah, that one's so good.
Atomic Habits. Yeah, that one's fire.
Yeah. I can't think of a third, but those two I love.
The Bible.
The Bible, the third.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atomic Habits is great, obviously, especially like it's aligned with what you do. Another good one that you should check out, I actually like it better than Atomic Habits.
Okay.
The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Okay. I need to remember that.
The Compound Effect.
Okay.
It talks about how small things add up daily to create a huge result. And so it talks about disciplines and just building your habits and how your habits build you. But I think it's more well written than Atomic Habits is. Atomic Habits is very like data and very like psychological. Darren Hardy really breaks it down to like a fifth grader could read it, but you're still able to understand the value and everything that he's talking about. So
okay,
I'm a big reader. This month I've already read 3 books. But,
wait, what are your top 3?
Oh, this is so hard. We did this like a couple weeks
You
ago.
can ask him that. You can ask him that.
Top 3 is a little bit easier though. First one, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Yeah, that one was a good one.
The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Yes, that's my favorite one, bro.
And it changes because whenever I recently read a book, it kind of goes into my top list just because it's fresh on the brain. But this is the second time that I've read it, and reading it a second time, it's kind of like the Bible. Like you read a passage and you're going through something in life and it just hits differently, right? And so that's what this book is called, The Secret, did for me. reading it the second time, and it talks about like manifestation, but not from the sense of like a worldly place, like where they talk about like crystals and all this other stuff, but how your thoughts materialize. So what you tell yourself ultimately becomes your reality. What you
Yeah.
think about ultimately becomes your reality. And it talks about how to get the most out of your life by the things that you speak and the things that you think. And for me, that's so important because I don't think we're intentional enough with our day to day, just like take, the Bible says to take every thought captive. I don't think we do that enough, just as like from a worldly sense, but from a Christianity sense, we don't take our thoughts captive because a lot of times we'll let our doubt, our fear, and what those are, even pride and ego, like those are sin. And so it's so important to just like have that at the forefront of your mind. John Maxwell talks about you either win or you lose your day before you even speak a word, and it's because of your thoughts. And so I love that type of stuff. I love everything about the brain and psychology and just how to get the most out of yourself. That's why I love your story, because
Yeah.
you thought about it, you saw it, and you made it happen. Like that's so dope, especially at a young age.
Yeah, you're so right. I definitely need to read those books now. I started this whole journey about, like you said, taking every thought captive about 6 months ago. And I studied psychology in school, but I'm just
Okay.
like, I love everything about that and like the subconscious, the nervous system,
Yep.
what we think and how it materializes. It's actually insane. And yeah, I just love everything about that.
Yeah, because I mean, we walk around in the world, right? And like sometimes, like things in the world get us pissed off, or as Christians, like we're not opposed to struggling in life or going through
Mhm.
hard times, but a lot of times when we're going through those situations, we'll tell ourselves, "Oh, I don't want this," and like I don't want to struggle anymore. But what that does for your brain and your mind, it's actually attracting more struggle. It's actually
Yeah.
attracting more hardship rather than telling yourself exactly what you want. And when you
Mhm.
say it, actually claiming it, like, oh,
Yeah.
instead of saying I want to make $10,000 this month, I make $10,000. Right?
Mhm.
Clients love working with me. I'm the best
Mhm.
marketing, person in North Carolina. Right? Like saying those
Mhm.
types of things that materializes and actually, you know, shows up in your life. And then you look back and you're like, how did this happen? Right?
Oh
Too
yeah.
so often we're just worried about the how. It's not our responsibility for the how.
Mhm.
But yeah, you got me on a tangent. I'm not even.
I
I'm
told
not
you.
even
I
trying to
told you
get.
the
Well, no,
books.
you're
That's
right.
that's
It
that's,
changes so
that's
much.
It
I
does.
feel like 6 months ago, I was a completely different person. Before I learned all of this, I was anxious about everything. And now it's crazy. Like, I don't even feel that anymore. I didn't even think I could ever get to this point. But, like, what God has done through knowledge like that and, like, what you're talking about is just wild. It blows my mind every day.
Absolutely. And like a lot of times people like, especially like when you have a social presence and you like talk about things outside of the Bible, but you advertise yourself as a Christian. I feel like Christians are a lot of times the most judgy, and they're like, oh, well, why aren't you going to the Bible? And like there's wisdom outside of the Bible, but when you understand like the real truth where everything comes from, so you can read these books and like pair it with what God says and what he says about us and how we're supposed to live, like that, I feel like um just increases your growth so much more because you understand it at an intimate level.
Yeah. I think other sources of knowledge are definitely not something to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And for me, everything that is true from somewhere outside of the Bible, you can find it in the Bible too. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the times
yeah, for sure.
I'll have this revelation and maybe it doesn't come from the word, but then I read a verse and I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's trying to be like telling me this all along and I just didn't get it. Like they take every thought captive. I needed to have somebody to tell it to me in this other language. And then I was like, oh wait, like I actually need to do this. And then yeah, it just flows from that.
I think yeah,
Absolutely.
I think God speaks like everywhere. I get all that stuff from like movies and anime. I'll watch
Yeah.
something, I'm like, that was deep. That was straight from the Bible, and I'm like, I need to work on that.
Mhm.
And it's a whole just an anime thing where it's a movie, right? And so I
Mhm.
think God speaks like everywhere when you're open to it. When you're like
Mhm.
closed minded, that's what I think. Like this new generation, I feel like God has opened the eyes for people to like realize like He's speaking in different ways. It's a
Mhm.
new revival. It's like I don't think it's not cookie cutter anymore. And so
Yeah.
I appreciate people like you, the new wave, y'all stepping up as leaders because it's definitely needed as you know where the world is going today. Like me and Joseph are huge into like Revelation and where the world is going, and
Mhm.
we didn't talk about that as much because we didn't. I don't want to get into all that yet, but maybe we'll do a part two and we'll do that. But
Yeah.
just people like you, like young leaders stepping up and like representing Christ, but in your own way and with your own giftings, and people need to understand like we always talk about being that light. Like you're opening the door for someone else that's watching you. It's gonna say, "Hey, I could do that too." Like a 16-year-old, right? One day you'll be older, and it'll be someone that's in your age that's looking up to you and like where you started. And so, praise God. I'm encouraged, and so yeah, thank you for this. I
Thank
would
you
love for
so much. That's so
yeah,
kind.
I would love for you to give your plugins. Let everyone know where they can find you. Like anything you have coming up. Like this is like your time right now. Give your plugins.
Yeah, so my Instagram is at So Caroline Grace, and that's my YouTube as well. On TikTok, I'm at So Caroline, and I have some guides, but mainly I'll just be posting videos, offering free resources to help everyone and, just have those conversations. My DMs are always open if anybody wants to chat. And yeah, that's the plan for right now. Um, and I just wanted to say thank y'all to you as well. Like what you're doing is so incredible having these conversations. Like that really is just spreading the word so much more than you can ever possibly imagine. Like you may see your impact now, but it goes farther than you can see. So I'm appreciative for y'all having me on and just being able to chat about these things.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so kind. How we always end our episodes is we have our guests pray us out. Is that something that you're open to?
Oh no, I'm not good at praying in public. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all
I
right.
feel like y'all could do it better for sure.
I
love that.
don't know if it's a better, but I'll cover you today, Caroline
Thank
Grace.
you. Thank you.
All right,
Next
you
time
owe
I
us
will.
next time.
Yes.
All right,
We'll
dear
give
God,
her grace.
what's that?
I say we'll give her grace.
Yeah, we'll give her
I
grace.
need a little grace with it.
Dear God, thank you so much for allowing this fellowship and association time and just breaking bread and having incredible conversations. Thank you for Caroline Grace and embracing who she is, how you made her as a daughter of the King of Kings, God, and her stepping into her queenship and stepping out on risk and ultimately trusting you and bringing that light to you through who she is, God. We're so grateful that we get to have this conversation with her, and I pray for everybody that's watching to have ears to hear and a heart that is open for you, God, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. And so we're so grateful for this time. We're so grateful for you and to serve you. We love you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Caroline Grace, thank you so much for joining us on the Crowncast podcast. It's been a pleasure. I've had a great time. And we'll see everybody next time.
It's been amazing. Thank you.
Or
Salute.